you talked about the importance of owning assets. Well, like, why is it important to own assets? Why is it important to own equity?
Well, it's certainly true that you can't take your W-2 with you. And also the country's set up from a tax perspective to advantage those who are either 1099, which is fascinating because in California, they don't want contractors. They say it's bad. It's actually better for your taxes in a lot of ways, or people who have ownership in something. And so most people, I think, who are in W-2s today don't realize they don't realize what they're being penalized by from the government on a taxation basis. And also, these small businesses all over the country, they're assets that you can invest in, both with time, equity, or expertise. But they're also things that you can pass on to the next generation. And, I don't know what you want to do with your businesses next, but you can sell it for a multiple of your profit, right? And you've bought and sold businesses and done it that way. You can't do that with the W-2. And so there's no real way to exit. So if retirement doesn't happen, there aren't pensions anymore. You are in your W-2. It's not tax advantaged, and you have no ability to exit either to retirement or to selling your business. Like, what are you going to do? And so I think we need to restructure the way that we have ownership and employment in this country. And it doesn't mean that everybody should be an owner, because you and I know how hard that is. Like, owning an actual business can suck. But it does mean that you want to get somewhere where you can get some of the benefits of both the tax structure and the asset.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the assets continue to appreciate over time, and it's, the dollars that you hold depreciate, right?
Right.
And so it's like, well, and then this is how people continue to get screwed. I have a friend actually that his whole thinking here is like, the only time I'm going to buy depreciating assets, like a car, for example, or buy like stupid stuff, is with not my earned income, but my investment income. Like, how do you think about that?
Yeah, I think there's the smart rich, which was probably created right by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but essentially said, hey, I want to buy, a new house, which is $1,000 a month. In order to buy that new house, instead of just paying out of pocket, how could I acquire some sort of asset that would pay for that $1,000 a month? And it's a lovely little triangle. You get the fun thing, you buy the asset pays for your fun thing. I try to think about it a little bit bigger than that. I feel like that's a great 1.0 framework. The 2.0 framework is we only have so many hours in the day. We only have so many talents. How can we pair the least amount of hours in the day to our highest talent for whatever our acquisition is? And so as opposed to thinking, well, I just want to cover this $1,000 payment that I have, why wouldn't I think instead, all right, if I'm going to spend time on investing in something, which means I need to understand it, I need to fund it, and I need to manage it in some way, shape, or form, what's the best way to do that for my time and talents? And so I need to think about a framework for that. But for me personally, that means that I'm looking a lot. I'm pretty disciplined and looking all over the place. And when I make a transaction, I hope it pays for 50 fucking houses as opposed to just replacing one for one.